welcome to tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. The question on my script is, are you ready to have some fun? Good. Well, I'm thrilled to be here. No, it is my pleasure to be hosting the autumn launch of the cinema lineup. Tonight's title of this event, and it does have a very special title tonight, is An Unforgettable Autumn. And once you hear how much we have to get through this evening, you're going to begin to realise it's going to be an unforgettable autumn because we're going to be spending most of it in this room. So let's begin. We are starting with the month of October, and at 10 in my countdown, we're going with Thor: The Dark World. Hell yeah! Chris Hemsworth currently on screens as James Hunt is Rush blasts back in his second standalone Thor adventure. Earth faces a massive new threat. Thor has to consider what he's prepared to sacrifice in order to save it from destruction. Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman, is back. The wonderful Loki returns, and Odin, played by Anthony Hopkins. This sequel, shot largely here in the UK and Iceland. Iron Man 3, Marvel's last big release, the highest grossing movie of 2013 so far. So expect big things from Thor 2. At number 9, it's Ender's Game. Yeah, a sci-fi thriller in which a brilliantly gifted boy called Ender, played by Asa Butterfield, is taken from his family for elite training so he can protect the Earth from alien invasion. We've all been there. Harrison Ford and Ben Kingsley, straight from Iron Man 3, make the cast, assembled by director Gavin Hood. It sounds very special indeed. Now, if there's one new release to walk 500 miles for, it's our number 8, Sunshine on Leith. Filmed in Glasgow and recently premiered on Leith Street in Edinburgh. It's Dexter Fletcher's film about two soldiers returning home from duty overseas and rebuilding their relationships. Great casting includes Jason Flemyng. I love Jason Flemyng. Peter Mullen and Jane Horrocks. And of course, those iconic songs by the Proclaimers. There's a lot of buzz around this one. Number 7 is Le Weekend. This is the latest British comedy directed by Roger Mitchell, starring Jim Broadbent and Lindsay Duncan as Nick and Meg, a couple who return to Paris, where they spent their honeymoon to try and rekindle their marriage. The wonderful Jeff Goldblum plays the old friend they bump into who sets the new action in motion. Poignant as well as funny, a celebration of partnership. At number 6, who enjoyed Kung Fu Panda? Yeah? Good, well, you may well enjoy this. Turbo, a supercharged 3D animation for the half term from the creative people who brought you How to Train Your Dragon and, of course, Kung Fu Panda. Turbo the Snail, voiced by Ryan Reynolds, has a life-changing accident which gives him the chance to fulfill his dream of competing in the world's fastest race, the Indy 500. And to round off our October selection, 5 films inspired by real events. First of all, number 5, Emperor. Set in the days after the Japanese surrender at the end of World War II, it centers on the momentous dilemma of how to deal with Emperor Hirohito. Matthew Fox and Tommy Lee Jones are the 2 US generals on the case. At 4, One Chance. James Corden stars as Paul Potts. That's right. The first winner of Britain's Got Talent, whose life experienced the most sensational turnaround. It's a real dream comes true story, shot in London and Venice. It stars Mackenzie Crook, directed by David Fragnall, who made The Devil Wears Prada. At 3, very exciting, Captain Phillips. Yeah. Tom Hanks plays the title character, the skipper of a US cargo ship that's hijacked by Somali pirates in 2009. A nail-biting heart-pounder from Paul Greengrass, who, of course, made the Jason Bourne thrillers, or at least 2 of them, and United 93. And, of course, those in the know already know, Tom Hanks is jetting to London for the premiere at the London Film Festival in a couple of weeks' time. Right, at number 2 in October, The Crash Reel, which is a spectacular, masterful, life-affirming documentary about the friendly rivalry between 2 Olympic snowboarders and what happens when one of them is gravely injured. Experience that one on the big screen if you can. And at number 1 in October, The Fifth Estate. Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch, always good, stars as Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks founder, in a thriller exploring the high prices that are paid for keeping and exposing secrets. It's got a superb cast. Anyone who's seen Rush will know just how good Daniel Bruhl is. Peter Capaldi's in there, Dan Stevens, Laura Linney, and Stanley Tucci. And that is my 10 movies to watch in October! Okay, I hope you enjoy as many of those as you can. We're into November, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to cheer if you love the movie. At number 10, who's excited about this? The Hunger Games Catching Fire. Yeah. Jennifer Lawrence returns this autumn as Katniss Everdeen, sensing rebellion in the air as the 75th annual Hunger Games approach. Roughly about 4 million people saw the first Hunger Games movie in UK cinemas alone, so expectations are high for this second adaptation. And now a trio of cutting-edge thrillers. At number 9, Closed Circuit, which is a gripping British thriller from Working Title Productions, reflecting the uncertain moral world lurking behind today's headlines. Eric Bana and Rebecca Hall star as lawyers who defend a man accused of a terrorist outrage in London and soon find themselves in mortal danger. Number 8, I've picked The Counselor, Ridley Scott's latest thriller. Michael Fassbender stars as a lawyer who gets too heavily embroiled with drug dealers. Amazing cast: Brad Pitt, Javier Bardem, Penelope Cruz and Cameron Diaz. It's also the first ever original screenplay written by No Country for Old Men author Cormac McCarthy. Number 7, oh gosh, I can't wait. Gravity. I really, seriously, you all know George Clooney, Sandra Bullock star in this two-hander from Alfonso Cuarón as astronauts struggling to survive hundreds of miles in outer space. We've seen the trailers in 3D. Number 6, Saving Mr. Banks. Tom Hanks plays Walt Disney alongside Emma Thompson as P.L. Travers, writer of Mary Poppins. It's the fascinating story of how Walt personally persuaded the uncompromising author to let him make a musical movie of her book in the 1960s. At number 5 in my November list, I'm going with Seduced and Abandoned. Now, if you don't know about this, it's a documentary by James Toback and Alec Baldwin that follows their progress in getting a new movie project off the ground. Filmed largely at Cannes Film Festival. It's got people like Martin Scorsese and Jessica Chastain in. That's Seduced and Abandoned. Number 4, Blue is the Warmest Colour. Obviously, it scooped the Palme d'Or at Cannes. It's a 3-hour movie. Its original French title was La Vie d'Adèle, and sure enough, it follows the life led by Adele and indeed Emma, a young same-sex couple. And at number 3, completely the other end of the spectrum, Las Vegas. I know, right? Robert De Niro, Morgan Freeman and Kevin Kline throw a bachelor party on the Vegas Strip for Michael Douglas, who finally decides to tie the knot late in life. It sounds great. I mean, you know, it's The Hangover with old people. Brilliant. Older people, that's not fair. And at number 1 for November, the darling of the Venice Film Festival, Philomena, based on an extraordinary true story. Dame Judi Dench portrays a dignified mother who is forced to give up her infant son. Steve Coogan stars as Martin Sixsmith, the weary journalist turned spin doctor who picks up the story. And that's it for November! Which means our final 10 films that make up our December lineup as we near Christmas. Kill Your Darlings. Daniel Radcliffe takes on the role of Allen Ginsberg in a heady tale of jealousy, obsession and murder that sees Ginsberg, Jack Kerouac and William Burroughs as young men yet to find their fame and notoriety. The second part of the Hobbit trilogy. Oh yes, Bilbo Baggins' incredible journey with Gandalf and the Dwarves continues. Obviously this time we're going to hear from Smaug or Smorg, the Desolation of Smaug in Cinemas in 3D in December. 9. Another epic journey is undertaken in Frozen, which is an animated comedy adventure for all the family this Christmas. I have a list of what it features, which are reindeer, snowmen, a magical kingdom, and most importantly, trolls. Rarely seen at Christmas, so that should be good. At 8, Jack Ryan, Shadow One. Yeah. They're rebooting Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan thrillers. This one stars Chris Pine as the CIA analyst racing to unravel a Russian plot to crash the economy. Not only is it directed by Kenneth Branagh, but it's got the brilliant second unit director Vic Armstrong alongside, who's obviously ace. Keira Knightley and Kevin Costner also star. At 7, Alexander Payne's new comedy concerning a road trip across the states is called Nebraska. It's a beautifully observed, bittersweet ride with quirky characters. which you could say quicker by going, it's an Alexander Payne movie. But another potential awards contender there. At number 6, August, Osage County. Another awards contender based on the hit play. It's the story of a far-flung family who haven't always got on, but who reunite at the old family home where they grew up. And this has got another fantastic cast. Meryl Streep, Julia Roberts, Ewan McGregor, Juliette Lewis, Sam Shepard, Abigail Breslin, and Chris Cooper, as well as a very busy Benedict Cumberbatch, make up the cast there. And now, our final 5. It's the comedies. At 5, how long has it been? How long have we waited for this? Anchorman 2. The legend continues. Exciting stuff. Will Ferrell is back as a newscaster, as Ron Burgundy, Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, all of them back. It's set in the 1980s in New York at the first 24-hour news channel. I had the privilege of being on set when they were filming that, and it looked hilarious. So good. 3, Old Boy. Interesting, this one. Well, I don't know. I mean, a lot of love for the original, but this is Spike Lee. It's his version of the great mystery stroke conspiracy thriller from South Korea. Now relocated to New Orleans, Josh Brolin stars as an advertising executive who is kidnapped and held captive for 20 years, only to find when he's released he isn't as free as he thinks. At 2, the final 2 now. At 2, it's the Harry Hill movie. If you like Harry's anarchic humour, it's all here. It's his first big screen outing, in which we follow him and his hamster on a madcap adventure from London to Blackpool. A lot of familiar faces in there, including Julie Walters, Sheridan Smith, Simon Bird, Jim Broadbent, Julian Barrett, and Matt Lucas, who quite obviously plays Harry's evil twin brother. And finally, number 1 for December is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Loads of buzz around this one. Ben Stiller is directing himself in this smart reworking of the classic story about Walter Mitty, a regular guy working in an office who daydreams and leads a far more exciting life in his own fantasy world. Sean Penn and Kristen Wiig co-star. And those Christmas crackers conclude our unforgettable autumn of the movies!